The first factor is the market factor. So imagine this. When we invest in an ice manufacturing plant, the production we generate must meet market demand. It depends on where we place the factory. For example, we place it in the city, or we place it in the town, or we place it in the commune, or we place it in remote areas like the mountains, for example. So each place has a different market. Consider supply radius, terrain, and location density using Google Maps to calculate production for outlets. We should open Google Maps and determine the population density, the density of shops, and the density of restaurants at the location where we set up the plant so we can calculate the production. With ice, we can supply to places, stores, eateries, bars, cafes, karaoke places, markets to preserve fish. Restaurants, pubs, coffee shops, karaoke bars, or even in the market to serve the need of marinating fish. So, when investing, we need to calculate the number of bars, the number of restaurants, and the number of shops to determine the total production needed by those outlets each day. And sitting down, we also have to look closely at that factor, which is when we supply, the fact that we expand the market in the future. For example, we plan that when we open a factory, we will supply within a radius of about 5 kilometers. Expanding the radius to 10 to 20 kilometers, we can supply more broadly if no ice plants exist there. At the time you invested, were there any ice factories within that radius? If no one invested nearby, we can supply more. But if a plant exists, our 10-15 tons plan faces competition. We plan to supply 10 to 15 tons of ice daily, but face competition if a nearby plant already serves the market. We must assess if we can supply these outlets effectively. We might encounter an obstacle if there is already a plant nearby or in that radius that is supplying to that area. So when we start supplying, will we be able to easily provide to those outlets? So the first issue we need to calculate is the production. And the stone output will depend on the market, the size of the market that we plan to supply. Calculate this. Wrong investments miss demand, causes development issues. If we invest incorrectly, we won't be able to meet market demand later on. So in that case, we will face difficulties during our development. The first factor is the market. The second factor is that there are still units located in areas with a market, even with a very large output to supply, but still fail. Delivering 10 tons of ice daily is tough. Frequent machinery issues, risk losing customers. Ice production is like a service. If a restaurant or bar runs out of ice during peak times, they suffer. Inconsistent supply means businesses won't rely on us. Our customers have their own customers too. When investing in an ice manufacturing plant, we are essentially investing in ice production. But in reality, supplying ice is not much different from a service industry. You can imagine that if a restaurant or a bar is in the middle of a party or during peak hours when they need to serve customers, but they run out of ice, you can understand how those businesses relying on our ice would feel, right? Or if we manage to supply one day but then can't the next, where will those businesses get their ice from? If we keep repeating this cycle, it's clear that those businesses won't dare to rely on us for ice anymore. Can you picture that? And here, our customers also have their own customers. So to ensure a stable supply of ice to the market, we also need to consider this. And here, our customers also have their own customers. So to ensure a stable ice supply, we need to consider ice machines, research suppliers to choose wisely. Regarding the issue of the quality of ice machines, and right now, there are many suppliers in the market, so we need to research thoroughly to choose the right one.